bigger frying pan, you end up having to repeat, rewind, and replay the same thing and the same story over and over. Another thing that is similar to that, which is another thing I want us to ruminate over with regards to matters of leadership, is what happened in one narration of Robert Soule in his book, Little Bush. He related that one day, one young man saw an advert of people crying for help. Then the Suez Canal was being constructed. And what was the help? They said enormous rats have started attacking the digging site for the canal. And so they asked, what can we do? People have brought a lot of exterminators, so many people have come around. These rats kept increasing and increasing and increasing. So this young man walked up to them and said, I can solve this problem. What's your company, where's your this? I don't have any of those, but I have an idea. So what are you going to do? He said he should just give him some days. So he went around and collected cats from all over. He came in with a cage full of cats and released them into the site and went back to sleep, so to speak. After a few weeks, the rat population began to reduce. And so, how many people think about that? Whenever there's a problem, there's the conventional way people go about it. Leaders are people who can solve enormous problems with little resources and something that is practical, healthy, workable, and result-oriented. That's another thing about leadership. The third thing I want to mention about leadership is that everybody is important. It's only somebody who doesn't know how to lead that will think somebody is irrelevant. And let me tell you what happens. Sorry, I do tell stories a lot. There's a farmer who had a sick donkey. This donkey happened to be his number one, wealth, let me put it that way. To go buy seeds, to plant seeds, to take proceeds to the market is this donkey. So at the point in time, this donkey fell ill, and the farmer was so disturbed. On the same farmland, he had a goat and some other animals. But this goat and donkey, there's something between them. They were always very close. So at the point this donkey was ill, the farmer sent for a vet, and the doctor said, look, this donkey is going to die in 3 days' time. But let's administer something. If it succeeds, fine. If it doesn't, then we have to, kill this donkey so that the disease will not spread to the farm and other farm animals. So it all started. A goat will go to the donkey and say, just take it easy. Take this medication. I heard you are going to be killed if you don't get well in 3 days. So the first day, the goat was around to encourage the donkey. Second day, now you can eat. Eat a little. This medicine should work. It wouldn't work if you don't eat. Now, the night of the third day, the goat came around and said, try to eat a bit. Try to take a step. Try to stand up a little. Take 1 step. Take 2 steps. You see you can read. Try to make a strut. Try to see if you can, hop. Try and see if you can run. As they were doing that, very early in the morning, the farmer, peeped and saw what was going on. That the donkey could now get up and walk and run around. So the farmer called onto the neighbors. Neighbors, everybody come around. I've seen something very strange today. The donkey I thought was going to die will now survive. And we must celebrate. We are going to slaughter this goat. What, did he do anything wrong? What happened actually? Will you? They're going to look at him like a bad person. Yes, but he was innocent. He didn't know that the goat's presence was actually instrumental to the survival of the donkey. Leaders don't slaughter anyone. They recognize that everybody is important. Whether they could speak to you or they couldn't, whether you could hear them or you couldn't, every person under you or within your jurisdiction is very important, and you must preserve them, you must appreciate them, and you must let them be. Let me tell you another thing. You see, leadership requires the ability and the knowledge and the wisdom to make things work. This is what I mean by this. You see, generally, we know that it's not all about faith, it's not about belief, it's about knowledge, it's about insight, it's about foresight, it's about deep understanding of how the universe, flow. Prayer doesn't work with laziness, guidance doesn't work with ignorance, understanding doesn't work with short-sightedness, and blessings don't work with indiscipline. It is not merely enough to be a visionary or to be an idealist or an intellectual to define leadership or to be a leader, because there are so many scholars who cannot lead. There are many experts who cannot even direct humans to any meaningful achievement. A professor of biology who can even take an amoeba as pet. He is so scholarly, but he cannot lead anyone. And there are so many scholars of sociology who cannot lead their own family, talk less of maintaining unity in a community. So it's not all about the higher degree. It's all about understanding how things work. And let me tell you this one, which I may use to wrap it up. Leaders need to inspire people to take actions. Leaders need to do things that will facilitate how things move and how things work amongst the people. I want to quickly give us an example of Noah that all of us know. Everybody knows about Noah, how he built an ark and stuff like that. Do you know that Noah was not an engineer per se? Having preached for over 900 years, a handful of people followed him. Then suddenly, he had another task. He had to build an ark. And in this ark, he had to gather animals. The cougars, the cats of this world, the elephants, the big ones and the small ones. He had to put all of them together, including the snakes. If I were him, I would say, dear God, would you mind if I exclude these snakes? I don't like snakes naturally. But he was told to put them all in. Maybe mosquitoes were to be included. And he had to put all of these together in one single boat. No rudder, no mast, no engine, no machine, no paddling device. He was to remain in there with them for days that he was not told when it was going to end. And he couldn't move out of the door to go play outside. You know what it means? So he had to use his sense. Where to put which animal? If he had put the lion where the zebras were, or he had put the antelopes where the tigers were, something will eat something. He will not get to his destination with all the animals intact. Some things will eat some things. And so he had to be wise enough to know, how do I make these groupings such that some things will not eat some things up? He had to know where to put the heavy animals, maybe on the lower deck, and the lighter animals and the lighter ones up onto the birds that may be roaming open up the first floor of the deck. If Noah did not use his discretion, if he don't use his wisdom, we will not be talking about him as a man of God now. And that is what a leader is supposed to understand. Forgive me for saying that many of those we lead are actually like animals. And you've got to know the lions, the cheetahs, the wolves. You've got to know the snakes. You've got to know them and know how to keep the foxes away from the chicken. Let me tell you one more thing. Great leaders require leadable followership. And honorable, and all of the leaders here will agree with me, it's going to be very difficult to lead people that are not leadable. You see, you can herd cows. 100 cows, one single Fulani boy can use a stick to herd them from one point of the state to another state. In fact, they may even pass through Benue. You know what I mean? Only one Fulani boy can use one stick. If he said, they know what it means. If they they know what it means. If they were to pass through a river and he wouldn't want them to stop there, he would give a signal and they won't stop. It can be behind them and be leading. It can stay in the front and be leading. It can be within them. It will still be leading. They know and they recognize him as their leader. With their sizes, one of them could uproot that boy. But they won't do that. However, can you herd cats? Can you make 10 cats to move from here through that door? Rope on their neck, it won't work. Rope on their legs, it won't work. You know why you can't herd 10 cats? Because each of them have their own agenda. Sometimes leadership may only succeed if you are smart enough to understand the people you are leading and you know how to lead them. Followers are not the same, but they are very crucial in determining your leadership skill and style. Sometimes they are instrumental to the success of your leadership. In my own opinion, there cannot be good leaders without good followers. A good leader must work on the followers. I have a red stuff there, but permit me to use 45 seconds if possible. I don't feel like stopping. Finally, let me put it that way. There's this bicycle parable I normally give to people so they won't forget. How many people here can ride bicycle? Yes. Excellent. Some people cannot ride. Well, the bicycle has two wheels, one in the front and one behind, right? Of the two wheels, which of them is more important?
No,
the one in the front or the one behind?
Equally important.
But can it be both of the above? No, pick one. The front is more important, right? Why do you say so? Because that front is the one that's directing the... What of the one behind? That's one to which the pedal is attached, and the bicycle can't move without that one behind. Are you going to change your mind? Which of them is the leader, which is the follower? You know, obviously, by way of position, right? The one in the front is the leader. But is it the one that does all the work? What if the ones behind stop moving? What if the one behind is deflated? Shouldn't they move in synchrony with one another? Shouldn't the one in the front respect the one behind? Should the one in the front feel the one behind is useless? Can the one in the front get anywhere without the one behind? Good leaders understand that very well. And I want you to do this exercise for me. Please point to anybody you like in this audience. Anybody. Please point. Please point. I'm pointing to you here. I'm pointing to you here. Point to people that you like here. I'm pointing to everybody here. Now point to yourself. Point to yourself. Everybody point to yourself.
Okay.
Why did you point like this? Why not like this? When I said point to yourself, why did you go there? Why did you point like this? Why? Please tell me why. Why did you choose this way? Everybody simultaneously did that. I didn't see anybody do like this.
That takes greater effort.
You know why? Because subliminally, you believe that that is where you are. So when it comes to leadership, start from yourself. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Abdulfattah Adeyemi. I think the ovation is not even loud enough.
Yeah.
Let's do this again. Let's do this again. Let's celebrate our Keynote. Thank you.